G'day everyone, welcome back to NS2HD. It's video number 600. 6 times 100 times have I hit that upload video button on Natural Selection 2HD. And normally when this happens, Natural Selection 2HD will play host to some sort of frag video or cinematic video or live action stunt or something. There's been 5 of them. This is the 6th, but it's different today. It involves a green screen and a rant. I've got something to rant about. It's a question I've been pondering. What attracted me to Natural Selection 2 so much? Why is it that I spend my weekends making NS2HD videos instead of looking for a girlfriend, playing out in the sun, getting fitter, or reading a book? What is going on with Natural Selection 2? Why is it that so many of you love NS2 so much? Why is there such a hardcore fan base for Natural Selection 2? Why has it been so successful despite its tiny budget and tiny team? What is it about this game that makes it different? Why does Natural Selection 2HD even exist? On the surface, Natural Selection 2 is a pretty cool game. There's aliens and marines. You can run around on the ceilings, floors, walls. You can blast things with grenade launchers, set things on fire with flamethrowers, use pistols, rifles, jetpacks, giant minigun-wielding exosuits. You can drive, you can be a life form so big that it can crash through doors. Do that right now. All of these things are really cool in isolation. The Alien vs. Marine science fiction concept is undoubtedly awesome, but that doesn't explain why people love Natural Selection 2. After all, if you wanted a cool Aliens vs. Marine experience, you could just play Aliens Colonial Marines or some other Aliens game. There's something else going on, and it comes down to experiences. Video games provide us with lots of experiences. We can be race car drivers, we can run a space program, we can go to war, we can see horrible things, beautiful things, startling things, we can fly planes, we can do things that we would otherwise never be able to do in real life. And these experiences, they educate us, they make us better as people. Games can touch us, games like Journey, games like Half-Life, games like... what's another recent game, I'm sure you can tell me in the comments, that has given you an experience that has improved the way you see your world. Natural Selection 2 provides such an experience, but it's one that has not been done properly by very many games. In fact, I would suggest that Natural Selection is the only game to provide this experience, and that experience is leadership. That sounds fuzzy, but I'm deadly serious. Leadership is a very important concept. Every day in our lives we are led and we lead, and both skills are very important to being humans and operating as part of a human society. And it goes as high as being a politician or a CEO, but it also goes right down to in the workplace, you and a colleague leading and being led by each other on a daily basis across different projects. The way you interact with your friends can exhibit qualities of leadership and those of being led, and both are skills. One must be good at being a leader, but also one must be good at being led. These skills are important to humanity, and video games could be an avenue for improving our ability to display them, but most video games don't provide a leadership experience. Even a team-based shooter like Battlefield 2 provides only very surface leadership qualities. A squad leader might be able to give orders and perhaps encourage their troops by voice command, and that provides a good experience, but it's always set back in favor of the individual experience. In Battlefield 2, the first-person shooter experience. In something like, I'm going to have to think of another game here, but when you're spieling into the camera, sometimes the thoughts don't come as fast as you want. But these games always prioritize the individual experience over the concept of leadership and being led. When you see reviews for Natural Selection 2, when you see YouTubers talking about the game, giving their opinions, when you see pundits writing opinion pieces on it, people tweeting about it, Facebooking about it, playing it, and then writing on the Unknown Worlds forums and other forums, often one of the arguments they come back to is, this game is really hard, and this commander mode that is looking down on this battlefield makes the game hard. Perhaps if this game was more focused on the first-person experience, it would be better, more fun. Maybe it would sell more copies. And this is very common in many reviews. Reviewers said, but there's all this cool stuff going on, but it's hard. It's hard. Why is it so hard to play this game? And the answer always came back to commander mode. So should Unknown Worlds have reduced the importance of the commander in favor of the individual experience? And the answer is no, absolutely not. I'm glad they didn't. It's why I'm here doing Natural Selection 2HD 600 videos on. It's probably why you're here watching NS2HD 600 videos on, even if you haven't quite thought of it that way yet. The commander mode in Natural Selection 2 is absolutely central to the experience. Not necessarily because it provides the interesting gameplay experiences of watching bases be built around you and orders be given, but because of when you step back from that layer, from the graphics, from the aliens and the marines, the explosions, the weapons, all the blood and gore and the science fiction environments, what is happening is an individual is leading a group of other individuals, and that is a beautiful, wonderful thing, and it's a very difficult thing. Most of the time when you approach a real-time strategy game, you think in terms of tech trees, in terms of build orders, strategies, things that you should be doing to maximize and optimize the video game itself. But in Natural Selection 2, all of that is secondary. You're not trying to maximize and optimize the operation of the video game, you're trying to lead people towards an objective, and the definition of leadership is ethereal, but some would say that it is the ability to direct a group of individuals towards a common goal and objective, and that is exactly what Natural Selection 2 is. You can have the greatest strategy in the world, you can have a perfect understanding of Natural Selection 2's build orders and tech trees, and you will still lose the game if you're unable to interact in an effective way with your fellow human being. We've all been there. We've seen commanders in games that say, my team sucks, I dropped PG in blah 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 room at just the exact moment and we still lost. You guys, I got you weapons level 2 just right. I dropped extractors within the first 3 seconds of the games. Why did we lose? It's because of you. You're my team, you suck. And they are so utterly wrong. As a commander, it is always your fault. As a commander, you must always take responsibility for the actions of your troops, because as a commander, you always have the capacity to influence their actions, inspire them, pick them up when they're down, bring them back when they're getting frothy, and direct them towards the most important objectives in the game. And it is that beauty, that thrill of having to interact with humans using your voice and using your inspirational qualities that make Natural Selection 2 such a wonderful game, and is the reason I keep coming back to it and making these videos, and I believe it to be the reason why so many of us, people like Dylan Savage, Iron Horse, Blind NS2, the people of Archaea, the people of Nexel, and all the other competitive teams out there keep coming back to this game, despite its obvious flaws, despite the fact that Unknown Worlds is too small to deliver a lot of the features that people expect of games in this day and age, such as beautiful ladder systems, wonderful menu graphics. That's the reason we release these patches so often, which aren't quite perfect, but people still give us the benefit of the doubt, and they keep playing and they keep looking to the next patch. It's because in this game, you have to lead human beings. It is such a fundamental human experience that Natural Selection 2 has captured. And not only is the experience of being a commander important, but the experience of being on the ground is important. As a soldier on the ground, the ability to take, receive orders, give timely input in an effective way is very important to being effective. And that's true in real life as well. If you're part of a company or the military or a hospital or a public service or anything, and you have superiors above you, maybe it's your CEO, a CFO, a manager, or maybe it's just the person managing you at McDonald's, who knows, you need to be able to be led by them effectively. And that does not mean just taking every order you get. Often Charlie here at Unknown Worlds will tell me to do something, and I'll think about that, and I'll say, Charlie, you know what, I really don't think that's a very good idea. Here's why, here's what I want to do instead. And often Charlie will say, that's pretty good argument here, and other times he'll say, no, just do it. That is one of the important facets of leadership and being led. It is the ability to interact with your leader in an effective way, respecting their ultimate authority, but at the same time giving timely input and operating in a skilled manner. So when you're on the ground and a commander drops an extractor and you say, Commander, there's 3 skulks in the vents nearby, I'm going to touch build this extractor, recycle it immediately so I can get out of here. That commander in their head is thinking, I really want that extractor. That's part of my tech tree strategy. That's part of my build order. I want this extractor right now. And poor commanders might say, you're disobeying an order, I want that extractor built right now. But others will say, I've received input from my soldiers. They need me to, I need to react to the battlefield in a different way. And the ability of that soldier to communicate that in a way that respects the commander's authority in front of the other players in the game, and also is done in an effective and timely manner, is hugely important. And it is the combination of those skills, of the commander being a leader and the troops on the ground being led, that make Natural Selection 2 such a unique and wonderful experience. And the thrill is, I can say this, and I don't even have to say it as an employee of Unknown Worlds. I came to Unknown Worlds a fanboy. I believed in this game before I even entertained the possibility of working in San Francisco in the Unknown Worlds office. This is coming from the heart, and I'm sure others of you have experienced it too, even if perhaps you haven't quite thought about it in the same way. In the sea of all the games we can play today, all the wonderful experiences we can have, Natural Selection 2 stands alone in delivering the leadership experience. It is beautiful, it is wonderful, it is crucial, In the future, as this game develops in the longer term, I'm confident that more and more people will start to understand the beauty of the Commander mode. They'll start to understand that it's not about tech trees, it's about human interaction. They'll get better at playing Commander, and Natural Selection 2 will continue to grow. Personally, I am so proud to be part of a community that has made that possible.